metaphorically at least, I think things are broken, because I think that's the issue. Now, you know this because I've grilled you on it at length, and I've grilled Milo on it at length. But to speak broadly, I'm fortunate that I know so much less than they do about how the network works that I can have stronger opinions than they have. But in the broadly speaking, to get what Howard said, I think one of the flaws of all the networking we have now, whether it's the protocols for TCP/IP that run the internet, or SSL, which is the secure socket layers that tell you when you go to a website that it's really the website, they are one way, and they didn't have to be that way. When it was originally invented, let me very oversimplify so they can spend the rest of the hour saying what Walter doesn't understand is, but the oversimplifying is the protocols can embed in a packet certain address header and other type things. That makes sure that the packet goes to the right place. If you had an internet that I would suggest would be good now, you would have it redesigned so just as Howard just said, you would know also embedded in that packet exactly where it came from and who sent it. And that could be done, but it's not part of the architecture of either TCP/IP, which are the transfer control protocols of the internet.
I would actually disagree with that. We can do that today. The problem is the network is managed a distributed way. We made a decision early on, and I was part of this group in the government, that we were not going to have the US government control the addressing and the name systems in the internet. And that was considered a prerequisite in order to allow internet technology to grow on a global basis. When you lost control of that, then it was like, well, there's this network, and I can tell it's coming from this entry point, this network, somewhere in Eastern Europe. Where exactly did that come from? In the old days, we knew. Nowadays, we don't. And somebody knows, but that somebody is not going to answer a phone call from me, or especially you. And so the problem is, how do you deal with management in that kind of world, right? Where you have pieces of the infrastructure under distributed control and not completely aligned with the general benefits of the network.
And let me, if I may, go to the second part of what Howard said so I can be controversial here, which is there is a privacy you give up if as you said. And would we be willing to give up that privacy? And let me say yes, yes, and yes. I want to have a trusted identity. I want to know the person who is emailing me or coming into my system, who that is. I want it to be like the real world. And I do not think people use the word privacy, and I don't mean to criticize you for using it because everybody does, what they really mean is anonymity. And anonymity is not necessarily a good thing. Plato taught us that in the Republic, that if you could put on the ring of gauges and be anonymous, you would no longer be civil. The internet has proven him right, and I think we would now be better off if people were not anonymous on the internet.